trails blazing, the candy paint's amazing, the chrome wheels spin. Who you think you're fading? Stay lane changing, 15's banging. I became a beast. No, you can't tame them.
Candy car, fast car, something like the NASCAR. Beat the block, chrome flat, big boomerang. Candy car, fast car, something like the NASCAR. Beat the block, chrome flat, big ball.
Good morning, traders. This is Rich with Breathingwiththemarkets.com. Today we're going to talk about some prop firms, maybe some trailing drawdowns, test accounts, and funded accounts. But let me warn you, don't listen to those fake-ass gurus that talk about live. Don't listen to the gurus that say, well, if you have a strategy on a funded account or a test account, it won't work in a live market. Well, that's because those people are gamblers themselves, right? Because, of course, you can't gamble in a live account because you don't have as much money as the market, right? Don't be fooled by somebody's success that could be temporary and only overnight, right? How did they get there? Because if you don't repeat the same methodical system each and every day, you're going to mess up. It only takes one bad day to blow your account, to blow your test account, to blow your live account. It's not about stop loss. It's not about managing risk with your stop loss. Risk starts before the execution of a trade. I know, sounds different, right? But it's a fact. Let's go ahead and read some of these clips here. Here we are, the first clip from George Carlin. Now think about this logically, okay? Think about everything I'm talking about logically today. Throw your emotions, your opinions aside. Here we are. Tell people there's an invisible man in the sky who created the universe, and the vast majority will believe you. Tell them the paint is wet, and they have to touch it to be sure. That's so true. So true. Explain to a child, to someone that item is hot, the fire is hot. What do? They touch it and they get burnt, right? Let's go to the next one. Here we are, Sam Harris. If someone doesn't value evidence, what evidence are you going to provide to prove they should value it? If someone doesn't value logic, what logical argument could you provide to show the importance of logic? You can't make this stuff up, right? I tell you all the time, use logic. Use objective evidence in the market. If you're listening and you're following traders because they look nice, they talk nice, they have nice things, they show you a nice bankroll, but nothing else, they don't even speak in terms that you understand, right? A few cuss words, like me. I'm a little biased, right? But I'm biased also. I do believe I'm the #1 mentor out there, right? I can prove my system each and every day. I can see your progress. If you come on over to Breathing with the Markets, I can see your progress. You can see your progress. And when you can see your progress, not peeing out, when you see your progress with a skill, you know you're on the right path to being successful at this. At what level? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's where leverage comes in. Let's go to the next clip from William James. It is wrong always, everywhere, and for everyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence. Again, it is wrong always, everywhere, and for everyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence. You follow all of these liquidity hacks. You follow all of these order flow hacks. You follow all of these volume hacks. Where's the sufficient evidence? How can you prove that that is accurate? You cannot. I'll ask you questions. Come on over to Breathing with the Markets and talk about your little tiny bubbles on the chart. I would love to talk to you. But see, you won't. I don't need the clicks, but you won't. And anybody watching this, why don't you reach out to your friends and family and gurus and say, hey, this guy's challenging you to come on over and talk about your little tiny bubbles. Talk about your order flow, because I understand the chart. And the candles don't lie, because the candles are there telling me the facts while you make up a story. So I'm seeing the facts and you're talking about a story. You're on paragraph 7 in your book that doesn't make any sense. And I am seeing current facts in the market that you don't even know about. And those facts are objective evidence in the market, while you talk about insufficient bullshit. Do you want to believe me? Doesn't fucking matter. I'm not here for those naysayers. I'm here for the mentees and those who want to come to Breathing with the Markets. That's it. That's who I'm here for. I am only here for those who want to come to Breathing with the Markets and the mentees who are already here. Because those people are going to figure out if trading is actually for them or not. We don't quit at Breathing with the Markets. We may be on pause for some unknown financial reason, but that doesn't mean they're quitting as far as they're practicing, they're studying. Because one thing about a skill, one thing about objective evidence in the market, you will not forget it. You will not unsee it. It's a fact. Are you going to forget how to drive if you didn't drive for 6 months? Think about it. How is that possible? that you're going to forget how to drive when you have 20s of thousands and hundreds of thousands of hours driving? How are you going to forget that? It doesn't take hundreds of thousands of hours to become successful at trading. I just myself have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of trades and 20s and hundreds of thousands of hours in the market, right? Think about it, right? The exact time, the exact amount of trades, right? It's all approximate, but a shitload and more than the majority of all of your gurus put together as far as trades. Okay? So who do you want to follow? Would you rather follow someone that is proven, vetted, confirmed, and can teach, show you the way, has a spine, and executes those same trades exactly where I show you to enter the market? If I can do it, why can't you do it? You see, that's a big difference. But what you don't understand is when you're gambling, the reason you can't do it and the reason they can do it is because they have an endless supply of money coming in, and they're gambling and they're doing 10 to 1s, 6 to 1s, 3 to 1s, 5 to 1s, 10 to 1s, 6 to 1s, 3 to 1s, 5 to 1s. And you think it's a skill. That's just a simple form of gambling, traders. Okay? Who in the hell wants a 10 to 1, 1 to 1, 5 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1? That's what they have to keep track of? Oh, I had an 8 to 1 today. Well, what happened to the other 60 losses? Oh, well, it only took one trade to wipe those out. Next. Next. That's not a strategy. That's hell, right? That's digging yourself a hole over time that you'll never get out of, okay? Because you can have one night fantasy suite, but the next night you're gonna have to pay for that. So all you fantasy suiters out there, good luck with that. That gambling's not gonna last long. And if you make it to live, and if you make it to a funded account, and you make it to live not following the system, and if you make it to a funded account not following the system, what do you think's going to happen when you get into your live account? What do you think's going to happen when you get into your funded account? You will eventually blow up because the market has more money than you, and you failed to continue to believe in a system that worked. Objective evidence. You cannot deny objective evidence anytime. Insufficient evidence, you believe, but you don't believe what you see when you're told that this is important to you. This should be important to you. This is how you practice each and every day. Let's go ahead and get into trailing drawdown and stop loss. Now here we are on the chart again. But insufficient evidence, right? Liquidity, 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 liquidity. All insufficient evidence. You are being lied to. You are being fooled. They might not even know they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But insufficient evidence? You believe that? You actually believe that we have these same clowns? And they're probably down here. That's why they say there's liquidity down there, is because they've lost their ass and they're still hoping and praying that price goes down and gets them out of the market. Those are the believers. Think about this, okay? You can't have it both ways, traders. It's one or the other. Either your fake ass guru is still in down here, or they want you to believe that these liquidity sweeps are always involved in. Now, which one is it? Do they still have positions down here waiting for the market to turn and come back down and get them out because liquidity and the market's going to go towards liquidity? Which one is it, traders? Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. It sounds to me like all of these people pushing liquidity, they are the liquidity. Liquidity. It's just the word. It's just the word, traders. So let's get into stop losses, right? And trailing drawdowns. Let's see. Let's hope this is red. Nope, it's green. You see? Hope and pray. And look what happens. Go ahead and make this a little bigger. Get some big dogs on there. Go ahead and make another one. We're going to call this one trailing drawdown, right? And we're going to call this one shitty stop loss / poor risk management. Okay. God, I love it already. Okay. So we have the shitty stop loss, poor risk management, and the trailing drawdown, right? Okay. Let's say you have a $25,000 account and you have a trailing drawdown, right? So you have a trailing drawdown, you're going to go long. Sounds simple, right? Inside a tested or funded account, they're different rules. Inside a test account, for example, you have possibly no trailing drawdown, right? So when you execute a trade right here, and your trailing drawdown starts to fluctuate as price moves up. And as price moves down, you could break even and go the opposite direction, right? So, for example, in the $25,000 account, your maximum amount is right here to pass the account. Okay, that's what you need to pass the account. Now, I'm not going to give out numbers because it's all different, but hopefully you understand this. Okay, so you're going to execute a trade right here. And as the market starts to fluctuate, your trailing drawdown that you cannot see is bouncing around. And as price goes up, right, into profit, your trailing drawdown is bouncing around. And all of a sudden you get a big spike up, right? You get a big spike up and it comes all the way back down to break even and your account's blown. In theory, say it went up to $1,500 and you only had a $1,500 drawdown, right? So if this green line was the $1,500 mark and that trailing drawdown went up to that line, in a sense that your profit target, okay? Because remember, it's not following where you're going to get out here. This trailing drawdown is following you up. And then when you start to become negative, every dollar, every $100 is adding up to the negative side. So when you're here, it's negative 100, negative 200, negative 300, negative 500, negative 700, 1,000. Boom, you're blown up. You are blown up and you have not even reached the break-even point. Why? Spread, slippage, and trading with prop firms. It's a fact. So your trailing drawdown actually comes all the way to the top because it is following your profit. It just doesn't stay down here at the bottom, right? So it's actually following the profit up. And if you don't bag those profits, when the price turns back down, you start to get into negative territory with your trailing drawdown. So there's two negatives. It's a double whammy. You didn't take profit and you allowed your trailing drawdown to trickle down. And now you don't have $1,500 drawdown anymore. If you exit the trade here, you might only have $800 left in drawdown out of $1,500 because you did not take that profit up high. The props know that. We know that. You should know that now because that's how fast the market moves, right? Is this a skill or is this a shitty trade? What do you call this? When all of a sudden you execute a trade and it spikes up and spikes back down and blows your account up. Does that mean you're a shitty trader? No, not at all. Does that mean you don't know how to trade? No, not if you have a systematic approach to the market, right? If you have a systematic approach to the market based on evidence and evidence only, not insufficient evidence, not a hunch, not intuition, not I think I've seen this before. I believe, I think I shoulda, coulda, woulda, because that doesn't work, traders, right? We haven't even touched this shitty stop loss poor risk management line yet, right? Wait till we get that involved, right? Because traders really don't know how to trade. Because if they're using the shitty stop loss poor risk management tool, then they tell me that they really don't know where they're at in the market. That's just to be honest. They don't know where they're at in the market. They're gambling. So for all those people that are using the shitty stop loss poor risk management tool, good luck with that. 99% of you are failing. 99% of you can't trade. 99% of you don't have a skill. And the other very little 1% are either in a whole lot of money, they have money coming in, or actually have a skill set. Very little. But remember, 99% of the people are not profitable. Why do you think 100% of the influencers? Listen to me carefully. Let me ask you a question. You know that 99% of the people are not profitable, right? You want to say 95? Who gives a shit? I say 99 because there's fakes on top of fakes. So 99% of the people are not profitable, including those influencers, right? So why would you think that all of these influencers out here are the 1% people that actually have a skill? You actually believe that? Do the math. It's impossible. You have gurus copying gurus word for word and making videos about other people. But you can't copy me. I'm too fucking natural, right? I'm giving it to you real. You can't fucking copy me. You don't know what the fuck I'm going to say next, right? It's not, well, this is a candle high and this is a candle low. And in order for you to trade, you have to understand where the open, close, high and low is and throw that shit out the window. Put that in your video. Rich said, throw that shit out the window. Rich said, you're fake using liquidity pools. It's insufficient evidence, right? You can't copy my shit. Make sense? You can't copy my shit because I speak the real truth, right? And you don't have the evidence to back it up. I have the evidence to back it up. I have the skill to back it up. I have the mentorships to back it up. I have the mentees to back it up, right? Objective evidence. It's plain and simple. You must have objective evidence in the market. So, and you must deal with facts. So facts, traders. What do the YOLO crews do? YOLO crews, what they'll do is they'll put a small stop loss right here, right? They'll put a small stop loss and then they'll go all in. So here's what the fakes will do. They'll go ahead and enter a trade right here. And they'll put their little ass stop loss right here. And then they'll call this a 10-to-1. And then you'll think that they're a hero. And they have a trailing drawdown. And as soon as that market opens, it slams into their TP. And then they call 10-to-1, baby. 10-to-1. 10-to-1. How many times do you think this is going to fail? Tell me, how many times do you think, is that what you call a strategy? Is this a strategy? Oh, I get 6-1. I just go for 6-1 because, I could have 6 losing trades in a row. Everyone says this. If they're talking about this, that's not going to help you. You're learning how to gamble, right? Well, I can lose 10 trades in a row. Well, what happens, traders? Have you ever found yourself in a cycle to always losing? Like, say you think you have a 60% win rate on a strategy because you back tested it. Back testing. Boy, that's another topic. Fake ass back testing. Learning to trade fake. Fake ass trading. Back testing. Fake ass trading. Fuck around and find out. Fake ass trading. That's the gambling. That's where gambling starts on these demos. Gambling starts on demos, traders. But nobody tells you that. Of course, they're not going to tell you that. They tell you to go ahead and practice on a demo because what they're teaching you doesn't fucking work. They don't want to be involved in a lawsuit because they can't teach you how to actually trade in the market. But see, here at Breathing with the Markets, I tell you, don't get on a demo that's gambling and don't even get in the market or buy any accounts until you think that you have a skill. Because if you value money, you're not going to get in the market. If you should know what your skill level's at. And if you don't have that skill level, don't get in the market. If you're not able to follow something in a systematic way, don't get in the market. If you think that you figured out some other way, good luck with that because that's not going to last. That's not going to last. I am sure there's a lot of people out there that came to Breathing with the Markets. I'm definitely sure that understand like shit, taking hundreds and hundreds of payouts and hundreds of thousands of trades this way is not an easy task, right? It's not an easy task. That's called a true skill, right? So if you have a true skill, the sky's the limit, right? It's not about money, right? It's not about money because if I'd taken hundreds of thousands of trades and uses hundreds of millions of dollars, where would I be? I'd still be here, traders, because I want to get back to the community, right? I'm tired of listening to all the bullshit on YouTube. That's why I don't buy clicks. I don't buy subscribers. I don't tell you a bunch of bullshit. I teach, I preach, I show, I execute, and I have transparency within breathingwiththemarkets.com. You can't beat that. And hundreds of thousands of trades to back up my skill. I've been banned, been limited, been let back, been off the limits, back into being treated equal, right? So I was actually limited and banned by 2 of the biggest prop firms, right? And then all of a sudden they had a change of heart. They did the right thing and said, hey, this guy's real, right? And they changed their decisions. One quicker than the other. And then there's another one that actually banned me in a sense that will not allow me to buy any evals whatsoever. No evals. But they don't say they banned me. They didn't say they banned me. They didn't write me a letter saying you're banned or anything. But they just won't allow me to buy evaluations. They're scared of me taking their $300,000 accounts because I'm chomping at the bit, right? I'm chomping at the bit to get those $300,000 accounts and get 20 of those bad boys. And they just do fucking micros because they like the micros. Build them bad boys up, right? And then Rich comes out swinging. They ain't going to be able to pay me, right? They're going to put me on hold. That's why they keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. I don't want to play that game. Just allow me to trade. I promise you I'm not going to pass 30 or 20, $300,000 accounts. I will make a promise to you that I'm not going to take you to the cleaners with 20, $300,000 accounts. Okay. I'll even put it in a contractual agreement. I won't do that. Just allow me to buy some accounts, right? Just allow me to trade like everyone else. But you see, they want the 99 percenters on there because mathematically, if you think about it mathematically, 99% of the people can't trade, but 99% of the people are not getting banned. Only handfuls of people are getting banned or limited or thrown to the side. Why? Because they are the traders. They're actual traders. And they let a few go by and they let a few get big payouts. But even those people that got these world record payouts, when I listen to them and I see what their strategy is, you can go back in history. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Where's all the executions? You mean to tell me they only showed up when it worked? Well, you don't know it's not going to work, right? Until after the fact. But what history doesn't do, history doesn't lie. Because you can go back in history and see for yourself. Geez, what a genius. So if the market prints a candle, that candle will always be there. That candle will always be there. So what they do, when they see that their strategy works, they post a video on that day. And then this is the only strategy you need. I made $2.5 million. I'm a record holder. $2.5 million from a prop firm. I didn't show any of my executions prior, but now I'm going to show you the $1 million strategy. This is the only strategy you need each and every day. Target the high and low of the overnight. Bullshit, traders. Crock of bullshit. Doesn't work. But, oh, I do a 10 to 1, 10 to 1, 10 to 1, 10 to 1. Okay. Traders, do you have that much money to do a 10 to 1, 10 to 1, 10 to 1, 10 to 1? Because remember, there's slippage involved. Remember, there's a trailing drawdown if you have that with the rules that you're trading. So when we go ahead and get into the trailing drawdown, and here we are, the trailing drawdown and the stop loss, right? So what happens, traders, when all of a sudden you enter a trade, and because you believe it's a winner, because you guys have some magical powers, man, I just love it. It's just magical, right? You guys call this, why add into a losing trade? Why add into a losing trade? I have the powers. I've been trading 8 years. I know that's a loser trade. Why are you adding into a loser trade? Aren't you supposed to add into winning trades? Well, let me ask you a logical question, traders. No bullshit zone here. Why do you think this area is automatically a winning trade? Who says this is fucking winning? And who says this is losing? You're as shallow as fuck. Are you that stupid? I know you're not that stupid. You've been fooled. You've been lied to. Who in the hell keeps adding into winning trades? Do you know every time you add into a winning trade, you cut your profit line in half? Right there. That's your break-even point right there. So not only were you in a safety area here as price was going up, you started to add into your trades, and you said, hey, never add into a losing trade. And all of a sudden, your risk management, let me grab this other one, started to come up here. And now your break even is this line right here, and it dumps all the way down to here. And now at your original break even is now at a loss. But you were so fucking smart that you said you had a winning trade and you add into winners. And you denied the fact that and you thought this was a loser. Are you supposed to buy high or buy low, traders? It's not a fucking trick question. Are you supposed to buy high or buy low? When you got into the market, why did you think that was the perfect place to execute the trade? Ask yourself, why did you think that? Were you gambling? This is what happens when you gamble, right? And then you have a stop loss because basically I moved the stop up here to show that that's where your break-even line was, right? And now you have a trailing drawdown. So not only do you have shitty stop loss, poor risk management line, you also have a trailing drawdown that trailed you all the way up. Now you're in the negative. Now you're in the negative all the way down. And you think that you were in a winning trade. You see, you always talk about stuff in your own way. You are biased. Nobody can tell you anything different. But without sufficient evidence, your opinions don't matter. Evidence matters, right? Evidence matters. Not your lingo, not your bullshit. You see, prop firms and organizations do not like traders that know how to trade. That's correct. They talk a big game, and I'm not saying each and every one of them, because they're not all the same, right? They're not all the same. But we can agree that each line up here, a trader has added before, for whatever reason, because it's a winner. And then all of a sudden, they were on the wrong side of the market, and they blew their account quicker than trading the right way. You see, I teach people how to enter on pullbacks. Well, what's a pullback? A pullback's not going in the direction you intended it to. A pullback, you gotta have gonads. You gotta have courage. You gotta be strong, right? A strong woman and a strong man. A strong person, right? You have to be strong. You have to understand where you're at in the market. So if I'm taking an execution right here, long, and I don't use a fucking stop loss, so we'll put it over here, not even fucking close to me. And we have a trailing drawdown, right? We have a trailing drawdown. So I just executed a trade, and it had a little fuckery up here, and now it turned around and started to come down and fill the shit out down here. And it's doing its thing over a period of time, and all of a sudden it comes down here, and I understand the market, and I see another entry down here. Boom, second entry. Second entry. Number 2, baby. Number 2. And I still see a little fuckery going on. bouncing around, right? Because you don't know where the hell the market's going because you haven't been told and you haven't been showed. You have no idea. All of a sudden goes down. 99% of all you fake ass gurus would think that you were in a losing position and your stop loss would have already been hit. Your stop loss would have already been hit. And mind you, I don't even have a trailing drawdown yet. Why? Because I'm already in the negative, right? Right? I don't have this trailing drawdown yet. I just have an account balance that I have basically maybe a 1,500, 3,000 or whatever, 4,500 drawdown, right? So this trailing drawdown is not even in play yet, right? Because it fucked around maybe $26 right here, right? So maybe this is $26. So we'll call this 26. How about that? Right? No clowns on. So, well, we'll just call it $26. So it comes down. So now we have the market turning around. Why? Because we understand at breathingwiththemarkets.com, the market is pushing up with the highest probability. Yes, that's right. The highest probability. We know that here at breathingwiththemarkets.com because I teach that. Objective evidence. And all of a sudden, it wants to come down again. And say, hypothetically, I'm at $300, $400, $500 in the negative. I don't know account size. It's all leverage. Okay? So it's leverage. Okay? So, and then we have a fourth position down here. Number 4, baby. Okay? Number 4. And now all of a sudden, because we know the direction of the market, now all of a sudden, it starts to create everything that we're familiar with here at Breathing with the Markets. And price starts to move in our direction. We're not break even yet. Now we're break even. Just screwing around, I don't know. Depends on spread, right? So say we're break even. Price is bouncing around. Bouncing around, bouncing around. And we get out. 324 points. Who's the fucking loser? Who's the fucking loser? Your fake ass gurus are the losers. Why in the hell would you add in to green trades? It works for you until it doesn't. You see, it works. And then they talk about how they added in. But they never ever talk about how they added in so much and the market turned against them. Have you seen those videos? You see, I add in, I teach, I preach, I show, I execute, I'm vetted, I'm confirmed. And I'm a solid fucking trader. If I execute a trade here at this line for an objective reason, and the market wants to pull back and fake out traders, they're not faking me out. They're pulling back, and the algorithm is coming down here, pulling traders down to go short, the 99%ers. Because they were looking for something up here that gave them an indication based on their liquidity, based on their volume candles, because they saw a big red candle coming down here, and they looked at volume, and then followed by another big ass red candle down here. And they said, we're all in, baby. We're going short, baby. The toilet has flushed. Going southbound, baby. And Rich and crew, stacking it up, baby. Heading northbound. We are going northbound, baby. Oh yeah, baby. Give me some more. Come on down some more. Come on, baby. Come on down and get it. All of a sudden, price turns and goes the opposite direction as we here at Breathing with the Markets are just bagging the shit out of it. Bagging that skill each and every day. While all of you fakes are looking at your volume candles, and all of a sudden, you have your little volume bars. You have your little volume bars that look the same down here. And then you have a little tiny green bar right here with little volume. And we'll put a little green bar here with little volume. And then we have another big red volume bar. And you just called out the Holy Grail because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And price turned as you were adding in, because you add into your winners. So we're going to make those red. You add into your winners, don't you? And Rich and crew have the highest percentage hit rate. And there you go. You blew up. We got a better price. Who knows how to trade? Ask yourself that question. Who knows how to trade? All of you? Or traders at Breathing with the Markets? Who knows how to trade? You think all of you? 99% of you? Because we, here at Breathing with the Market, have made milestones like no other in past. It's not about speed, it's about skill. I've been banned, I've been limited, I've been challenged, I've been questioned and vetted, and I have nothing to prove to anyone. I've been told that it's humanly impossible to trade the way I trade. It's humanly impossible? Well, I'll tell you one thing that's impossible. It's impossible to code how I trade. So let's just start with that one, okay? So it's impossible to create an algorithm or code or create an indicator, okay, on how I trade. So the point is, you're following fakes. And if you don't go in and calculate the numbers, your account size, micro size, mini size, drawdown size, if you use a stop, I'm not saying if you use a stop loss, you're weak. What I'm telling you is, I am going back for all of those people and for all of those years where you have professionals tell you, if you don't use a stop loss, you're gambling. That's not true. That's fuckery. Okay? That's fuckery. If I had somebody and I had a hedge fund, think about this logically. If I had a hedge fund and someone said, Rich, I'm going to take this trade, I'm going to put $6 million on it. Okay? Give me the info. Show me the chart. Why are you going to take this trade? Show me the evidence why you're going to take this trade. Not fundamentals, not news, not the new chip maker, not because all the chips are going up at the same time, not because gas and oil is volatile. Show me the chart. Because the chart speaks the language. The price of that stock is not in control of the language. The language speaks for itself. The language has a voice of its own. And you, all the fakes and gamblers out there, try to speak for the chart. But the chart has its own voice. You assume that there's liquidity somewhere. You assume that this fair value gap means something specific. And it doesn't. You assume that all of the volume that you see on your fake ass volume indicator is accurate. You assume that all of your order flow and DOM, where you can see buyers and sellers for $29.95. You have a program that's free, $29.95, and you can see all the buyers and sellers. That's funny shit. That's funny shit. Even if you could see all the buyers and sellers in the market, the chart itself is going to rocket up or rocket down because it's saying, I'm in charge here. The chart's in charge. All of you fools are not in charge. I don't go up just because the straight is open now or closed, given on which day and time and hour of the day, right? That's not why the market goes up and down. The market has to be set up to go up or down. The news just accelerates it. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. Don't be confused, because you are following, more than likely, with the highest probability, an influencer that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They want you to believe because they're storytellers. They're storytellers as to why they got into the market. But I just showed you how the Rich and crew, making progress, buying low, baby. If we get in an area and we're there with objective evidence and it gives us a pullback, we get in some more. Gives us a pullback, we get in some more. Gives us a pullback, we get in some more because we understand the direction of travel, and if that is your skill level, that is what you can do. Not that you have to do it immediately. You should know what your skill level is. Okay? So, we buy low. I teach how to buy low. We don't buy high. We sell high. So we buy low and sell high. Yes, I know, it's been around forever. That's no shitter. You know, that's like no shit. Not telling me anything, buy low and sell high. But nobody teaches you where low and high is. So that's not gonna work out for all you. But when you go back over here and you continue to do your fake ass support and resistance, all and look for liquidity, what are you gonna do? You're gonna continue to blow up each and every day, one by one. It is fake as fuck. This is a storyteller. Well, here, let's go ahead and try. We got the bears in control here. The bears have come down and now the bulls have taken over. So now we have this nice V-shaped pattern. So we have a nice V-shaped pattern, and all of a sudden the bulls started to take over, and then the bears took over up here. And you see this pressure up here? It actually green, and then all of a sudden came down, and the bears took over and brought the price down. And then all of a sudden this is making a higher low, and this is made a high, and then we have a higher low, and then a higher high, and then we have a higher low. Therefore, we should be moving up. Well, listen, traders, this is a story. They are pointing out what has already happened, but they are not pointing this out as it's happening, okay? Because when it comes up to this point right here and it had a strong move down, they are all, 99% of this crew is taking this short. And Rich and crew understand why. We are all in and long. This is shit. Boom, 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 boom. It's all bullshit. Boom. I don't know what to tell you. I hope this helps. If you're struggling, if anyone's struggling at Breathing with the Markets, or they're struggling to find their leverage, you can reach out to me and we'll talk in detail. But leverage is key. A lot of times they give you leverage. They overweight, the accounts are overweighted. A lot of leverage, little wiggle room, and then throw in a drawdown, a daily drawdown. And then they throw in a trailing drawdown, okay? There's reasons that they don't have a trailing drawdown in the test accounts at some places, and then go to a trailing drawdown in the funded accounts, because you can't trade them the same. You can't use the same leverage unless your skill is spot on and you can just turn that switch, right? Because the higher skill level you have, you can trade anything. I can trade swing trade, hyper scalp, intraday, it doesn't matter. Any time frame, any pair, anything, anytime, any leverage. Smaller leverage for me is really boring, right? So, trading 15 minis in the market, in a fast market, in a fluid market is my style, right? I start to drop down to smaller things, and I'm working on some things right now that I'm not sharing publicly or anything else like that, but I'm working on some things, and I may or may not eventually provide that information to the mentees. I'm not obligated to do that, but the point is, I taught them how to trade, and the information that we have at Breathing with the Markets is private. It's private information. It's for them, right? It's for them to get better. They have skin in the game, and it's not for those that don't have skin in the game. Okay, that's not how this works, right? This is something that I've had my whole life, and I'm willing to share it to those that have skin in the game. I wish you well. I hope that you succeed in no matter where you're at or whoever you're following. And if not, if you want to come over to breathingwiththemarkets.com, I'm here for you, and I will prove everything that I say. I wish you well. Have a great day. Peace, traders.